Strap in, everyone, because this is going to be a little bit of geekiness in this episode of the Lore Pod Podcast. I'm your host, Dakota Morgan, coming to you from Phoenix, Arizona. Today, we're going to be diving into some heavy comic book stuff. We're going to be talking about Marvel Rivals, the new game that has been out here for a few months now, but the storyline, nobody really knows. A lot of people take a look at it and say, oh, it's a clone of Overwatch, bada. Guess what, folks? There is a storyline to it. The more deeper you look, the more you will find. And today on this episode, we're going to be talking about the lore of Marvel Rivals so far. I should make it clear, at this time, it is February, so the game has been out for a little bit. There's been a little bit added to it, but we don't know where it's going to go, so things will be added in future time, but this is the story of Marvel Rivals so far. We do have to say, starting right out now, you're going to see a lot of characters from the MCU that you're going to see, and needless to say, these aren't the Marvel Cinematic Universe counterparts. These are more akin to actually the comic book, which I love with a passion. Our story starts with Doctor Doom, the main villain of Fantastic Four, the guy with the green cloak, metal mask, for those who don't know comics. And by the way, I should say, if you don't know too much of comics, try to remember the movies and TV shows, and you're pretty much set. Doctor Doom has been experimenting with the laws of time, magic, and science. When you combine the three, that's going to do nothing but cause good results, of course. He's actually confronted with another variant of himself from the multiverse. An odder-looking Doctor Doom, but one from the year 2099. Now, 2099 is significant because there was a series in Marvel Comics that was all the characters, but they're the year 2099 futuristic version of them. Whether or not that hero is still the same alter ego, we should see. Like maybe someone was a different Punisher, whatever the hell. Different Spider-Man, but it's still Spider-Man. Now, when the two Doctor Dooms do meet, this causes an astronomically bad event called the Time Stream Entanglement, where multiple timelines actually fuse together. So, of course, nothing's going to go bad there. Now, instead of a multiverse, this is actually called a chronoverse. Maybe because they're trying to separate, who knows? So multiple heroes, multiple different versions of heroes and villains fight to take on Doom in their own special ways. Which is why in the game, you see villains and heroes teaming up. Now in the chronoverse, there's actually 4 different universes as of so far. We have the present day, we have the 2099 techno dystopia universe, the Mosaic, which is the past, aka Asgard, really. And then the collapsing doomsday timeline, aka New York City with vampires. Now, in the pre-time entanglement here, in the more doomsday scenario, how this doomsday world became to be is very easy. Dr. Doom, the present day one, decided to confront Doctor Strange and says the key to controlling time is vampire magic. Because if you don't know, vampires do exist, and vampire magic is a thing in the Marvel Cinematic, in the Marvel Universe, not Cinematic Universe, in the Marvel Comic Universe. And in order to do all the controlling and research that Doom needs in order to control this vampire magic, he needs the Darkhold, a big book full of ancestral dark magic. Recently, you have seen it in the Multiverse of Madness movie, and he tried to confront it from Strange and take it from him, which actually leads to a fight. And in the end, Doctor Strange does win because he's Sorcerer Supreme. And he throws the Darkhold in another plane of existence. Now, Khonshu, the bird-skulled Egyptian god of the moon, aka the guy who gives Moon Knight all of his powers, is met by Doctor Doom, who told him to try to convince him. The Doom's there saying, hey, if you stop the moon over New York City specifically, which is the thing he can do, then all the vampires are going to come out, and I'll be able to do my vampire research. Now, Khonshu, a somewhat good god, he decided, no, this is bad. And he banished Doctor Doom from the reality, the astral plane. And then Khonshu decides to actually look for the Darkhold himself. The Dooms do meet again, and that causes a new element to be made called the Chronomium. Now, in this new element, it actually enhances certain characters and things throughout the universe. Because, of course, why not? Dracula actually is able to get this element, the leader of the vampires in the Marvel Universe. And with this element and his super extra power that he has, charges into the Sanctum Sanctorum, the home of Doctor Strange, and does a blood ritual, which blocks out the moon over New York City, causing an eternal night. And aka the vampires all coming out. So Doom in the end still kind of won. Mr. Fantastic and Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, work together actually on the Time Stream Reintegration Device, TRD for short, to fix the entanglement, but actually lack the chromium to actually power the device. Cloak and Dagger and Punisher fight on the front lines of New York City to fight the vampires, but learn that Khonshu actually got a hold of the Darkhold himself and use the Quintessi formula to actually kill all vampires is his plan. So he wants to use this formula, which is a recent thing in Marvel Comics, to kill all the vampires in the universe. Not all of them are going to be bad, though, either. And you also have Blade, who's a half vampire. Mr. Fantastic and Cloak are against the idea, while Iron Man and Dagger are actually considering it. Now, of course, we have Spider-Man swinging around the city doing his thing. He is contacted by a multiversal spider hero called Spider-Zero to help protect the Web of Life and Destiny. And that's a whole web thing that allows people to travel through realities, especially spider people. Peter actually refuses this call to action and meets with the Human Torch and Blade to fight Dracula in Central Park. But Dracula actually wins because he has extra powers right now. And Dracula took Blade, and at this time we don't know why, and called forth Radagast, which is a squirrel type of god with a horn on him that can be used to kill Dracula. One could only suspect that he called that thing forward to be able to say, hey, I'm going to kill you before you can kill me. Get rid of all of his weaknesses right now. Squirrel Girl then appeared, and because it was a squirrel type of god, actually tried defending the god from Dracula. But she was beaten, and the god was taken. Doctor Strange is back, and where is he at during this whole battle? He is in the astral projection mirror unit. Well, he's in astral form. In the mirror dimension, he's asking other Sorcerer Supremes from across multiverses for help. And he's actually contacted by an alternate reality, Wanda, who Wanda's good/bad, and not just like a pure kind of evil thing later on, as you see in the movies recently and TV show. Wanda then goes to Limbo, which is kind of a hell dimension, and it's also run by Magic, aka a friend of the X-Men and an X-Men team member, and she has her mutant ability is to be able to go to this dimension, and then she controls a lot of demons. But she goes to Limbo, enlists the X-Men's help through Magic, who then got Wolverine at her side, and they head to the island nation of Krakoa. Krakoa being a island where mutants are on there, and they have portals that lead to it, and it's kind of like the mutants' little safe island away from mankind, where they do science stuff, and a little bit of magic stuff, and weird plant things, and orgies if you read the comics. Yeah, I'm not fucking kidding you. That is a thing. Now, due to the multiversal entanglement, Krakoa and Yukakra actually, it's a thing. They actually merged and went to different universe in the 2099 universe, which causes all sorts of problems. Wanda from 2099 is the Wanda who contacted Strange, and the Krakoa is led by Magneto. And she, with her magic, was able to enhance Cerebro, and that allowed Magneto to find and message mutants from across the multiverse to gather them to him. And through this, he was able to recruit Namor and Psylocke. Now, where did Psylocke come from? Namor is obviously going to be there anyways. We're like, yeah, death to the land dwellers. And then Psylocke, who uses purple energy shields and whatnot, and daggers, been around since the 90s, late 80s. Mantis from the Guardians of the Galaxy, Psylocke, and Jeff the Shark was teleported to the Collector, who collects different people and things from across multiverses. They were teleported to his museum and were in there for weeks. Now, the Mantis, who was teleported there with the three, is actually put fighting against another Mantis from a different universe. That one from the other universe actually sacrificed herself so that the one who went there with Psylocke and Jeff could get away. So the three of them actually do get away from. And during that time, Psylocke gets the Magneto message to go meet him in that universe at Krakoa. Now we're going to the other section here, 2099 Tokyo. And Black Widow infiltrates the Alchemax, which is the supervillain group from 2099, who's seen in a few different spider things recently, infiltrates and finds a frozen Captain America who's been in there since the end of World War II. And both of them escape together. Now they take down some of the forces there, but they're actually separated. Cap is rescued by Wolverine and taken to Wakanda. And we're going to learn more about Wakanda in a second. Widow leaves and is actually to track down the Punisher so they can get some help and take down the enemies. And Punisher's there, of course, because crime, and he wants to kill it. Now in that universe, in that one, Spider-Zero, Penny Parker, and the Master Weaver, who you've seen on the video screens in there talking to you, they are trying to protect the Web of Life. Because if you look in 2099, you look up in the sky and you see that it's all damaged. Now, during this time, Spider-Zero does send a message to other spider people throughout the multiverse to help protect the web. And of course, who is attacking the web, causing destruction and such? That is none other than the 2099 Doctor Doom. Damn, Doom is a dick. Always messing with shit. And I should say it's a little late for this, but yes, Doctor Doom does deal with magic. He's not all about just science from what we see from different movies and such. Now, the 2099 Wakanda that we're seeing here is now the Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda, who has a giant space station and all sorts of shit. And there's a Space Panther god. It's wild right now, folks. Absolutely fucking wild. Now, Black Panther, which is T'Challa, and his sister Shuri, there is the chronomium, the new element, has been infused with a vibranium, creating chronorarium in the heart of a star, and that's what they use to get. So they, instead of the normal vibranium, they have some more intense shit. Now, Shuri wants to use the new element to power Mr. Fantastic and Stark's new device, but T'Challa is kind of against this, actually, for some unknown reason. But, psych, it's actually a reason because Black Panther put together a team to fight Doctor Doom to help protect everything, and that is because he is following a space god there, Panther, and we'll figure out that in a second. But his team includes Captain America, Hawkeye, Winter Soldier, who was rescued from the Hell's Haven Hydra base, which you do see as a map as well. Now, he is against this cause because the Panther god is infected by the place called Clintar. And if you know Spider-Man, you know Venom, well, just Venom, I guess, because Venom's across every book nowadays. Venom and all that stuff, you do know Clintar is a very bad place. Now, their Panther god there, Shuri, because it's infected, Shuri sends the Guardians of the Galaxy to Clintar, and they find out it is a giant symbiote around the dead corpse of a celestial being. Those giant bitches. Like, it is insane. So, of course, the Guardians are overtaken by the symbiotes as well. Big battle that must have been, too. And you do hear about it from the dialogue. Adam Warlock, the android, kind of weird creature-looking thing, gold guy, as you may know him from, he is there, and Venom are actually drawn to the planet as well, where they find the god of the symbiotes, Null. And they know that Null is going to cause a lot of crazy-ass shit through the multiverse, all of it. And they know he is a big threat. So the two of them team up to try to actually find the Necro Sword, which is a sword that is used to kill gods. Again, this is getting deep in the weeds of comics and somewhat MCU. And they want to use the Necro Sword to kill Null. The problem is, they gotta find it. Now we're going to the kind of old-timey stuff, and that is because the Chronomium was infused with the sap of the Tree of Life in Asgard. Because, of course, why the fuck not? And this leads the Loki to find that and discover this, and it actually allows him to discover with the sap, he can see into the future, where he sees multiple versions of Asgard destroyed. And he sees one where it is not. And that is the one where he rules over, of course, because it's Loki. Not Loki TV show, but Loki, classic Loki. So he schemes with Hela, sister, the god of death, to exile Thor and put Odin in a sleep, which they do. They put him in a sleep because he wants to be able to rule. Hela does agree to this, but because she wants to learn and master the Chronium herself, which of course can lead to only good things. Thor confronts Hela after being exiled and faces her infused army with the new element of the dead. So infused army of the dead, and wild shit right there. He of course does not win, and Thor is thrown into a portal to an alternate timeline. He crash lands in an Earth desert, and he meets up with the Hulk. And this is a little slightly different version of the Hulk. So he fights the Hulk, of course, because they got to do their Hulk-Thor battle, which is always fucking awesome. And he actually breaks a belt on Hulk. That belt is actually a gamma belt, and that's what Bruce Banner uses to become the Hulk in this universe, so which is a new different thing. And so once he destroys it, he goes back to being Bruce Banner, and both of them scheme on what to do next. And with this, as of right now, as of this recording, we are caught up on Marvel Rivals. Why are these characters together? Why are they doing what they're doing? Now you know. So enjoy, folks. Make sure you play Marvel Rivals. It's free on most stuff here. I've been playing on the Xbox with the guys. I believe there's a couple Twitch videos out too. The Spartan Squad together on it. But if you did enjoy this episode of the Lore Pod podcast, be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening to the show, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, lorepod.podbean.com, or whatever other party app you actually use, because there's so damn many. Again, be sure to subscribe, leave a review on the channel, tell your friends. I am on social media too, on X and Instagram. Social media links are in the description box down below, of course, for you. Keep track of all the pop culture things I talk about. Of course, my animal adventures and much, much more. And I'm on Twitch, CoderRex97 on Twitch if you want to catch me live, raw, and uncut on there for my video game playthroughs. Again, that's going to be description box down below. Without further ado, everybody, thank you for joining me on this adventure of Marvel Rivals. Kind of a bigger episode here, and well worth it. And boy, oh boy, is there some deep cuts in this shit. The dialogue with these characters is truly amazing, and there is so much history here with the characters as well that there could be many, many more episodes just based on them. And let me know if you want to see that, because I will fucking do it. You guys and gals and everything in between all rock. So, of course, as always, remember, stay creative, everyone.